What's going on, guys? My name's Matt, and I like to record videos and post them on YouTube. I won't say the internet because I discovered that yesterday that I'm wrong. Oh, what a day! I mean, it's really not been a day. I mean, it's been a day, but nothing too crazy. I stayed up kind of late this morning to be able to make it to the bank to cash my check, and then I slept till about 6. It gave me 6 hours of sleep, and then that was practically it. I was awake obviously for a few hours prior to coming to work, but I mean, it kind of just flew by. It was like, seemed like it was just really quick, but I had a few things, naturally I was like, I wanted to talk about, but, uh, when it finally came down to doing it, I kind of was like, I don't know what I want to actually talk about. Like, there's a few things, and they're not, I know my tone feels a little downbeat at the moment, and there's not that I have few things to talk about that are sad or something like that. I'm just tired. That's really all it comes down to. Before I started recording this video, I yawned probably like 6 times in a row. I'm just really tired. I haven't slept a lot in the last few days. I slept like 2 hours day before yesterday, and obviously 6 hours last night, which, you know, still was nice. I'm not gonna complain for 6 hours. I was happy to get 6 hours of straight sleep, but still wasn't great. But one of the things I guess I wanted to kind of briefly talk about, just something I thought about earlier today, was like, have you ever had something in life that, like, at one point of your life it defined you, and obviously in my eyes in the area that I'm going to speak with you about today, I'm going to talk to you about something in high school. So that's usually the massive time of your life where you're like somebody else, and then you grow up and you're in your 30s and you look back to that young 19-year-old self and you think like it's crazy how you can build a life and design your life around something so hardeningly that you're like, like the thought in high school of me not doing it in the future was like, I'll never stop doing this. And then I'm 31 years old and I don't do it, and I look back and laugh and think like the naive understanding that like life changes and there's complications that arise, and we're not all young and spry like we used to be. So like my example that I'm using and giving for you today is, um, I was listening to some old playlists from a second Google account that I have not used in like a millennium, and it had a lot of songs and stuff playlists I made from around the time when I was in my like young teens, and so like it was this nostalgic flashback of being like, I never expected that account to still have those playlists saved on it, let alone like to listen to them and be like, not only remember like the playlist in the sense of like the order of the songs and the way they're gonna come out, but like, some of the songs on there are songs that I have literally probably not listened to since I was in high school. But a song came on, um, that actually surprisingly a lot of people hate on, but it was Lupe Fiasco's "Kick Push." And obviously, if you've never heard the song, it's a rap song. Well, I don't even know what it is. I guess it's rap because he is kind of rapping in it, but it's like sing rapping, so it's not really like rap. You know what I'm saying? It's like hip hop, I guess, probably better describe it. But anyways, um, it's about skateboarding. It's literally like the whole song is a song about skateboarding and how it defined this. I mean, it's about him. Well, he's talking about him, but it's like it's a story of this skateboarder and how he he gets a skateboard and he slowly teaches himself how to do stuff, and he meets all these other guys that are his age that also enjoy doing the same thing, and they become this tight knit family, and they cruise around town, and cops are constantly kicking them out, and they're getting in trouble, and everybody knew them in town to be that core group, and like that was my life, like that was my high school to me, and it's really weird to think about it now back then, because like we were this core group of like 20 kids that we skated my town, and we got kicked out constantly, and we got in trouble a lot, and we got our skateboards taken from us a lot, and we ran from the cops a lot, and we were so tight knit, and we would be skating as a group, and a couple of us would get busted and the rest would make it away, and the cops would question us like who they were, and we wouldn't rat on them because we were the skaters, you know what I'm saying? And I spent my entire life practically in high school skateboarding. I mean, when I wasn't at home playing video games, which was a lot of the time, I was out in uptown with my friends skateboarding. So, I mean, like, I devoted a very large chunk and time and effort of my life to skateboarding, right? And it was something I had passion in, and I loved doing it. And don't get me wrong, I still to this day, I do love skateboarding. I mean, it's not like one day I just was like, fuck you, skateboarding. Like, nothing like that has ever happened. But the difference was, I got older. I smoked cigarettes. So, like, back then I smoked cigarettes, but it was like, you were that kid and you thought you were cool, so you'd, like, smoke a cigarette and be like, look at me, I'm Mr. Cool Guy. But I had, like, young kid lungs that weren't smoked on every day, so like you could smoke 3 or 4 cigarettes with your friends and then go home and spend the next 5 days not smoking, and your lungs would like adapt in like a day, you know what I'm saying, like you weren't. And now I'm smoking 10 cigarettes a day, and that's probably a minimum, but say 10 cigarettes a day. And the idea of getting on a piece of wood with wheels and then like physically using effort to have to push myself for a long period of time seems not smart, because I'm going to get winded very quickly. On top of, I'm much older and bones don't heal as fast as they used to. Not that they were fast back then, but still, like, you break a bone when you're in your 30s, and you're probably going to deal with the pain the rest of your life, versus when I was young 20s and I could break bones and heal and now deal with the pain. Um, but that song came on, and it just got me thinking about, like, the skateboarding life and how I don't talk to any of the guys I skateboarded with. And like, yes, thankfully Facebook has allowed it so we can all stay in contact with each other. I'm still friends with them. I can still see how their lives are going and stuff like that. But I mean, like, literally, there's not a single person that I skated with that to this day still skates like full time like they used to. Like, I'm sure there's a few of them that could pick up a skateboard and be 10 times better than I would ever be, because they probably actually stuck with it more to the point where they learned and learned and learned and like kept with it. But, like I said, it's still a point where I eventually stopped. And if I could pick up a board now and ride on it, I could do it for like 10 minutes, and I might be able to do a few minute small amount of tricks. But I mean, like, I recently, a few years back, remember a friend of mine's kids were getting into skateboarding, and I was riding around with them at the time just to kind of, show them some stuff. And I couldn't land like 95% of the stuff that I could do like so effortlessly when by the time I quit, and it was just that obviously fact that I stopped doing it. And then for 10 years I never kick flipped, so that the idea that I would just be able to jump on the skateboard and kickflip again was like, oh, well, this should be like riding a bike, right? And it's like, no, bro. I mean, it's a whole nother. You have to relearn it all, and so it's just that crazy idea, I guess. I was trying to think of other things, and I'm sure there's plenty of others out there that I just haven't really thought of in depthly, I guess. But like, just that idea that like there was once a time where, say 8 years of my life I devoted to something, like my passion, my inspiration to want to do good was all driven from my skateboarding. And and like I said, I thought I'd skate the rest of my life. Like I said, I'll never hate on skateboards. I still love watching other people skateboard. It's just the idea that I am not physically able to do what I used to do back then, so I would never attempt to get on a skateboard and try to be like, oh, watch me do something really dumb and get really hurt because I have no idea what I'm doing now because I'm old. You see this face? This is the face of an old man. So actually, last night, so this is on the assumption that whoever's watching this watched yesterday's video, because if you didn't, then this part's going to be slightly confusing for you. Well, when I was ending yesterday's video, I was saying, like, oh, maybe I'll record some other stuff, because, you know, I've got this time, and I'm in a good mood, and I'm bored, and, like, why not, you know? So I stopped recording, and I uploaded the video, and I did some stuff here at work that I had to get done. But once I finished that stuff, and I was back to just having free time again, I kind of sitting here thinking about it. I'm like, alright, you know, well, maybe I will just record another video. You know, I've missed 2 weeks. I could just record a random video of something, you know, and then just kind of have it as like a makeup, an extra, you know, whatever. And, so I had a buddy of mine who had sent me this link for this guy who, like, draws. He explains books, but, like, when he reads the book, and then he understands the book, and then he gives you, like, a 10-minute explanation of the book and what it breaks down to being. And he draws, like, illustrations on you know, on his videos and stuff like that. So you get to watch. It's like a picture story of a book that obviously probably was not meant to have pictures. And it was all this, like, self-help stuff, with, like, how to motivate you and make you better and stuff like that, which is fine. My buddy's going down that path at this moment, and it's helping him, so he's, like, trying to get me into it, thinking that it will help me, but that stuff just doesn't do that stuff for me. So, but it was still the idea of this you know, this video where he sent me to it. It was 9 minutes or whatever, and he was like, yo, you should watch this. So I had my idea in my head. I'm like, alright, look, like, you know, I'm a bit judgmental on this whole subject. You know, I have my feelings about this kind of stuff. But it's still not to say that I don't believe in the idea that it can help people. Like, obviously, I'm watching my buddy go through this now in the moment, and the fact that he's reading this stuff and he's learning this stuff, and it's helping his brain mentally focus and become a better person and become more driven in life and stuff like that. And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's great. Honest to God, if you can do that, if this is the kind of thing that can help get you motivated and push you in that direction, then 100%, like, I'm not hating on it. I think that's great. The idea is it doesn't affect me. It does not help me. Some dude writing a book telling me how he was motivated does not motivate me. I have different ways to need to be motivated. And so the idea, though, that naturally it could help somebody was like, alright, well, what if I play the video on here. I just minimized the screen you see of my face really small, and I put it over here in the top over here, and then I had the video playing. And the idea was like, hey, look, I'll record a small intro simply explaining what I just explained to you about how my buddy's going through all this stuff, and this video is a small explanation of a book he just listened, or that he just read, and that he thinks it would help me, and that there's maybe a possibility that maybe somebody else out there watching my video might watch this video while I'm watching a video, and even though it wouldn't affect me, it might help them in some way, sense, or form. So it was just my way of being like, fuck it, let's turn something that might not help me into something that could help somebody else on YouTube. And I started recording the intro, right? The intro I recorded was 2 minutes long, and as I was talking to myself, and I can see myself, especially like as I'm recording these videos, I see myself, which is probably the hardest thing to get used to when you start recording YouTube videos. If you are using, like, your phone, when the screen is facing you, obviously you are seeing what is being recorded. Like, you know, you see you. So, like, when you record yourself on for the YouTubes, for instance, I am practically right now, I'm just talking to myself, and I know that Yes, I am. Obviously, I'm talking to myself. There's no one else in this room. I'm the only one talking, and I'm talking to a computer. So obviously, I'm talking to myself. But I'm meaning in the sense of like, there is a me sitting on the opposite side of me, looking back at me. And yes, he is me in the point of when I'm pointing now, he's pointing back at me. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I am physically talking to myself. Um, and so after you've done this for a few times, you kind of notice things, right? And one of the things you notice, well, I noticed, you can't see it, but on my end, I have like little options down here below the screen that's showing me like what I'm recording, things I can turn on. Like you see how I've got the clock over there on the right hand side. If I come down here and click on this button, okay, that was the wrong one. There it is. The clock goes away because I can control what can be seen, what can't be seen. That's why actually a second ago I clicked on that. That was when this is from when I was doing my 24-hour Extra Life stream. I mean, there's like overlays and stuff here. Do you want to see this picture from Extra Life? Stream starting soon. So you see, there are things that are pre-saved onto this, and all I have to do is click on whether you can see it or not, and it will add it to the video, or it won't, or subtract it, you know. And just above those options, there are two bars. One shows you what the volume of the audio is. So it was like the video was playing in the back. If the video was playing in the background, it would tell me how much audio volume is coming off of that video versus how much video volume is coming from my microphone. And I noticed that my microphone wasn't moving, like, at all. There's usually like a bar that moves, you know, like when you peek out. If I yell really loud, I can get it to hit the red. Um, and that all boils down to the fact that when you plug in this microphone, for whatever reason, I've never understood this, for the years that I've ever owned this microphone. When you plug this microphone into the computer, see this little red light right here? It instantly mutes the microphone. Like, it flashes. And when that light is flashing, no recording from here, right? So that bar is obviously not moving because I'm not recording from here. And so I noticed there's no movement, and I looked down and realized this thing's flashing, and realized that the 2-minute recording I have just done, where I've been like, that's all it is. It's just me talking, but you can't hear anything because I wasn't actually recording. So I stopped the recording. I'm kind of bent out of shape with myself, kind of like, God, idiot, like I hate double recording things. It hardly happens in my life because I usually just hit the record button and go, and then that's it. And so rarely do I ever make a mistake where I'm like, fuck, now I have to re-record what I just recorded. So I go back, I restart the recording, and I start explaining a second time the intro. This time, because I've already explained it once before, and now I'm explaining again, I summarized the intro into being about 1.5 minutes instead of 2 minutes, and then that last 30 seconds of that 2 minutes I used to just explain, ha ha ha, I recorded this once, but totally realized that I had my microphone muted, and looked down and realized that when I stopped the recording the first time, before restarting it, I never unmuted the microphone, so it was still muted. And so I just had re-recorded an intro because the first time I forgot to unmute it, and now here we are again. So I was livid with myself, right? I was not a happy camper. So I stopped the video. I unmuted the microphone, and I started re-recording. So the way it was working is we're going to use that picture, this picture here. We're going to use this picture as an example, right? So like I said, I had this screen that you can see of my face minimized and small off into the upper corner up here, right? And then this picture, I'm sorry, this picture would have been like the video. So naturally, you know, I was over here, and I was like, I would have been overlaid just over top of it. But for the intro, I had a big screen here. Oh shit, I don't know if I can change. Do we try it, or do we not risk it for the biscuit? Aha! Well, it works that well? I don't know why it would work that way. Alright. So this is they call them scenes. You know, that's how I can change what you can see and what you can't see. I just click on a different scene and then you can have it set up special. It's because I use a broadcaster that people literally use that make television, so like it's very, very set up. But so this is how this was all set up, okay? The way it was gonna work out was, let me just make sure. Okay. It's just black screen now, but pretend the black screen that you're about to see was a video, okay? So the way I had it set up, the way I was going to do is we had 2-minute intro of me sitting here like this explaining to you what was going to happen. Then after I finished the 2-minute intro, I was going to close out of this one. Now you can see how I'm this small little box up here. Oh, hi guys, I'm so small now. And then this black screen obviously was the video. And then we watched the video together while I stayed up here in this tiny screen and talked over, well, not really talked over the video. I would pause the video and I'd talk about something and then unpause it and we'd start playing it again and this and that. Then once I finished once the video had finished, I went back to the recording software to bring up, you know, the recording software that I can see like that as it is now, to finish off the video, so that way when I was done I could hit the stop button and, you know, end the video. And whilst bringing the recording software back up, realized that I never turned this screen off. So the entire 9-minute conversation you had, instead of being a small little screen, you never saw the video, all you could do was hear it, and you just saw my face sit here going like, I was so livid with myself. I was like, you fucked this video up 3 times. I wasted 20 some, no, it was probably more than that, 30, 40 minutes of my night last night. It was just wasted by me trying to record a video that failed over and over and over again. Now, I still have those videos saved, but they won't be usable because the first 2 are just me talking like, and you can't hear nothing. And then obviously the last one, you can hear plenty, but you can't see what the fuck you're supposed to be, you know, seeing. So I never actually did that, recorded a video. But I was thinking, just prior to starting this video, that, you know, if I could get my recorder software installed onto this computer, so that way I could actually, like, or not recording, like my editing software onto this computer instead of my other computer, so that way when I'm at work and stuff like that, I could spend the time to do it. I actually would edit a video of me commentating over top of the 3 messed up videos, just because I'm sure it is quite comical to watch me talk and not have a single word come out of my mouth. But that would be something for another time, because again, I don't have anything to watch now. Since I already watched the video, it's one thing when you want to make like a react, almost kind of like video to a video that you've never seen, and then you watch it and realize you messed up the video, and then you think of re-recording it and think of, do you know how hard it's going to be to have to re-watch that and pretend that I don't already know what this guy's going to say, on top of it didn't actually help me at all like I figured it wouldn't, and I kind of criticized it more than I actually was like being nice about it when the video was going on. So it was like, I don't want to have to redo that, or I don't want to, like, I don't know, I just didn't want to rewatch it practically. So I was like, you know what, we'll keep the concept alive. I might do that again, where I might record a video, I might play a video in the background, and then, you know, commentate over. I don't know, we'll just try up something new and see if anybody out there actually enjoys it. But like I said, I messed it up a couple times. It kind of made me upset last night, and then that was it. But that's pretty much all I got for the night. I know it was a bunch of randomness, and I'm hopefully getting a new car soon. Got a buddy of mine who might be selling me his old car, which sounds like a that's not a new car, Matt, but I mean, I meant new to me. And honestly, this car is a car that I could drive like out of state and trust that it would not only do it, but it would get me home. And that's a vehicle that I haven't had in a very long time. You know, I've always owned vehicles that's like you might just want to keep it within 30 miles, just to ensure that there's no issue kind of thing. But I mean, like for the most part, this he drives 45 minutes to work every day, and he drives his car, and this car is like a 1995. So I mean, it's like it's old, but it's very low mileage. It was extremely well taken care of. It was an old lady's car. She sold it a year ago to my friend. My friend spent about $1,000 putting very minute little stuff. It needed new suspension, um, and something else that was like very small, nothing like major, just things that need replaced over time kind of thing. Ended up dropping about $1,000 into it. Got it running so it's perfectly. Like I said, he's been driving it 45 minutes to work every day, and the only reason he's selling it to me, and not only is it because he knows that I need a vehicle and he doesn't want me to have to go out and spend $10,000 on a used car when it's like a $6,000 used car, but at the moment used cars are so expensive that you pay so much more than what you're supposed to, and now it's like the $6,000 cars are $10,000, and so you don't want me to go out and spend 10 grand on something that's not worth it. So he's like, you give me 2 grand and I'll give you this car. And I'm like, dude, that'd be so cool because it's a Grand Marquis, which if you don't know what a Grand Marquis is, if you know what a Crown Vic is, look up a 1995 Crown Vic, and that's what it will be. So it's a V8 car. It's in great shape. It's got 63,000 miles on it. Only 63,000. So, I mean, we're talking like brand fucking new. It's got the same motor as my truck that I currently has in it, the 4.6 liter V8, so small block V8. Uh, it's got 190 stock horsepower, and my truck came with 240, and my truck is quick as fuck with that extra 40 horsepower. And I've ridden Brian's car, and it's not really that quick. So if he sells it to me, there's a good probability that I'm going to possibly pay somebody to let me store my truck somewhere. And I'm either going to then spend the money to fix my truck so I can have a truck and a car, or um, or possibly depending on the whole transmission route, because my tranny's going out in my truck, and it's obviously extremely expensive to replace. And you don't want to spend $3,000 on replacing a brand new transmission to put it into the truck to then have the motor blow, and now you have that wasted transmission and this, that, and the other. So practically the only thing I have is I practically want to own that truck until it dies. Like dies, tranny's no good, can't be used, because then I will persuade Brian into helping me remove engine from truck, because that truck does have 153,000 miles on it, so it's not, she's an old girl, she's got a lot of miles on her. But if I could take that engine out of my truck, rebuild it just back to stock, just give it a rehaul, get it back up to running exactly like it was supposed to, stock motor, put that bitch inside that Grand Marquis, and then it would be the same motor, but it would be a 240 horsepower truck motor instead of the 190 horsepower car motor. So that's farther down the line though, like in the future, because if I buy this Grand Marquis, it's in great shape. And like I said, it's trustworthy where I could leave out of state and come back and not have to worry about it. So that's like a vehicle you don't want to mess with because it's in too nice a shape to want to like ruin. And so that'd be one of those things where I use it, and then once I get to the point where I can actually own something that's like newer than 2000 or 1995, then I could then take the motor out of the truck and put it in the Grand Marquis, or just have the motor out of the truck and just keep the motor, there, slowly build on it for a couple years until I finish it, and then, at that point, then I probably will have another vehicle and I could swap the motors over and turn the Grand Marquis into a drag racer. Sounds like a fun gig to me. Plus, if I rebuild the motor stock, and use like the OEM, like Ford 2005 parts, Ford themselves can get 660 some horsepower. I think it's like 668 horsepower out of the stock 4.8 or 4.6 V8, and like the internal OEM parts can withstand up to 668 horsepower stock, like all on stock Eternals, before you get to the point where you're going to start breaking stuff because you've put too much power to it. So like literally, even if I just rebuild that motor, it has 240 when it comes stock, and it can handle another 400 more, which literally means I could either A, just throw nitrous on it and have me a nitrous car that would probably give it 400 extra horsepower, or I could be even smarter with it and put a turbo on it, but just run at something like 5 pounds of boost, or even supercharge it. I mean, at this point, we're talking more and more expensive, but, I just want to have fun. I wanted something that can go fast and I can have fun in. But I wanted to stop this video when we were on 20 minutes long, because I figured 30-minute video last night probably wasn't great, and a ton of you didn't probably watch it, or like all the way through at least. So making another one at 30 minutes long probably wasn't the greatest idea, but here we are at 31 minutes, so whatever. So if you guys like this video, a like would be much appreciated. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing to keep up with content that will come out practically daily, unless shit prevents me from it. And at least the cool thing is normally you get this video, Friday, Saturday, Sunday when I'm here at work, and then, you get your videos during the week when I'm at home. But I'm now going to be working here Monday, not like every day, but this Monday. I picked up Monday shift this week, so I'll be working. You'll get another vlog from here on Monday night, and then, which I really do need, because when I was training, they only give me 4 hours a night, which was pretty lame. But yeah, what are you gonna do, right? Alright, let's just do it this way, guys. If you want to subscribe, click on the little circular ball thing that's right over here. And if you want to see the other videos that we've created this year already, you can click on this top playlist up here. This is like 2022 playlist, right? All the videos from 2022. And if you want to just see, if you want to actually just say like skip the bullshit, you click on the bottom one down here, this bottom video. This bottom video is the very first video from 2022, and so it should just lead you down the line after that. So I'll see you guys later. I love you. Have a nice night. Bye.